glad I found you. Come on, we gotta quit your job right now. You gotta quit your job right now. Come on. What are you doing? Come on, let's go. What's going on, guys? In today's video, I'm going to give you 5 reasons that I think you should start a business today. Okay, so reason number 1, and this is probably the biggest, right, is starting a business is the number 1 way to obtain wealth. Even if your business is investing in real estate, or even if your business is trading cryptocurrency, right? Like, it's still a business. But you can do the research. Studies have shown, it is very clear that starting a business is the number 1 way to obtain wealth. I would say in today's environment with private equity funds and the roll-up, I did a video on this a while back. It was when I first started my channel, so it's not one of my favorite videos. However, the idea of the roll-up is just such an obvious way to become rich today. Briefly, what the roll-up is companies are out there trying to create these national companies. So what they're doing is they go buy up a bunch of regional guys and they rebrand them as their national brand. And then before you know it, across the whole nation, they have a presence. Take something like the propane business, for example, right? Companies like AmeriGas and Suburban Propane, they went out and bought up a bunch of regional guys, rebranded them Suburban Propane. Now they have this huge company, they go public, right? That's nationalization. So if you are a small guy and you can build a company in a few years, you can sell it like that to one of these national guys if you have a good presence in a market that they're not in. Like my garbage business right now or my propane business right now, I could sell them very quickly. I would say 3 to 6 months I could have that sold. That's not my plan, but when you're first starting, a lot of times you might want to start something and sell it and start something and sell it and stair step your way up to the business that you really want to be in, because you have to build the capital and you have to build the know-how along the way. So, number 1 way to become rich is to own a business. Okay, so the number 2 reason I would tell you that you need to start a business is your employer is not going to make you rich. Here and there, you might have a situation where you get a profit share. Those are pretty rare, and you have to really have a lot of value to get something like that. In general, though, that's not going to happen. You might get stock in a company. This is becoming more and more common to get stock, especially in like startups, like tech startups, stuff like this. But at that point, you're an owner. You're no longer an employee. The way employers decide what to pay people is they look at the market and they see what other companies that have similar positions are paying, because at the end of the day, most companies are paying their employees a similar amount. They're paying a similar amount for supplies, and they have a similar profit margin. If all of a sudden they said, I'm going to start paying all my employees 20 to 25% more, it could eat up their whole profit margin, or it could cause them to have to raise prices and they're no longer competitive with their competitors, right? So your employer is not going to make you rich. In fact, the opposite. A book that changed my life when I was like 19 years old was Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad and Poor Dad. And the whole book is basically focused about the rat race that people get caught in when they have a job. And you're trying to climb the corporate ladder, but when you look up the corporate ladder, the only thing you see above you is a big butt, right? Like you never really get anywhere. So I would say start a business, because you're not going to get rich working a job. The number 3 reason, and this is a big one, is the government is not going to let you get rich, right? There's a big difference between being an employee and how you're taxed and being an employer and how you're taxed. When you're an employee, you get taxed before you get your money. When you're an employer or a business owner, you get taxed after you get your money. This is a huge, huge difference. If I paid you $100,000 a year, but before you ever got that money, I took 30% out for taxes, you only have $70,000 of spending power. However, if you were a business owner and you made that same $100,000 in a year, but I didn't take any out, and then you went and you bought a piece of equipment that cost $50,000, and you bought some inventory that cost $25,000, then your tax basis is only $25,000, even though you had $100,000 of purchasing power. Over the course of time, this definitely adds up. It's very important that you understand this, because you will always get paid after taxes if you're an employee, always. And you always get paid before taxes if you're a business owner. Okay, so the fourth thing I would tell you, and this is more like a quality of life kind of thing, is just having that sense of accomplishment. I haven't really had a lot of like real jobs, right? But I know being a business owner, when I drive around and I see one of my trucks drive by, or I see one of my propane tanks at somebody's home, or I see one of my trash cans, or I have a big win, or I'm able to do something for others, it's a huge sense of accomplishment. I sold a business in 2016, and I could have retired then, but I kept going because I just don't feel accomplished if I'm not building something. And if I'm going to build something, I should build something that's going to increase my wealth and my quality of life. So for me, the sense of accomplishment is one of the biggest things. It's one of the most important things. So the last reason I think you should go start a business is so that you can help other people. For me, being able to donate to a charity or give back in some way, whether I get credit or not, is a really big deal. And I think that people like us are charged with that responsibility of helping other people. Certain people are good at certain things, right? And certain people gravitate towards certain things. If somebody's really good at baking, right, that doesn't make them less than somebody that's really good at making money. It just makes them different. So if you're really good at making money, or you become really good at making money over time, you should remember that and try to put those efforts to use to where you can help other people that aren't as good at doing that, right? My wife and I, we sponsor and we support a lot of children's charities. For us, that's a really big deal. Foster homes, things like that. But some people, they support veterans or whatever. You know, you should find something that is close to home for you and try to support it, because as an entrepreneur, as a successful person, that's part of what you're supposed to do with those abilities. So anyway, I'm gonna wrap up the video here. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're new to the channel, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the bell notifications on, and I'll see you in the next one.